Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Monday, June 23rd, 2025. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister of the Sunshine Cathedral. With me today are Bishop Robert Griffin and Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell. We are the Queer God Squad. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about us.
Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. Faith-based, progressive, pluralistic, and queer. There is no streaming TV show quite like this in the world. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. Pride Diversity Pride will be held in August, and Pride Fort Lauderdale will be held next February.
We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we urge you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. The church once admired trans saints. Here's the history. Several Republican-led states have restricted transgender rights. Earlier in the year, several White House executive orders pushed to deny trans identity. But not all Christians are anti-trans. And there is a strong evidence of a long history in Christianity of what today could be called transgendered saints. There are at least 34 documented stories of transgender saints, lives from the early centuries of Christianity. Some scholars argue that there were times when Christians not only did not fear transness, but saw it as holy. Literature scholar Rhonda McDaniel explains that in 10th century England, adopting the Christian values of shunning, wealth, militarism, and sex made it easier for people to go beyond strict ideas about male and female gender. Instead of defining gender by separate male and female values, all individuals could be defined by the same Christian values. In the late 12th century, Joseph, born female, joined a monastery in Germany. During his deathbed confession, Joseph told his life story, including his pilgrimage to Jerusalem as a child and his difficult journey back to Europe after the death of his father. When he finally returned to his birthplace of Cologne, he entered a monastery as a man in gratitude to God for returning him home safely. The person to whom he confessed thereafter continued to refer to him using male pronouns and suggested Joseph's life was worth emulating. There were no caveats added. Love this story. love this story. And what I most appreciate about this story is, being born one thing or being born this and being called this and really living his life as authentic. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the most important part of it. He lived a life of authentic life, and that he probably ministered in that fashion. He reached out to people in that fashion. Mm-hmm. He served in that capacity, and no one ever knew the wiser. All they probably saw was a servant of God in their presence. Mm-hmm. And then the deathbed confession, mm-hmm. to be the hearer of that deathbed confession, and then the honoring mm-hmm. of the life experience, of the journey, of things that happened along, and then to say, this is who you are. Yeah. Joseph, this is who you are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to honor that life. And I think so often people want to try and change that story to make them feel comfortable. Yeah. But here we have the story of lived experience, lived experience, and one of true acceptance for the life. And no one can take that away.
Yeah, and these stories are not as rare as you might think. There was Rosa Bonheur, who dressed in male. She was an artist, dressed in male clothes, and painted what she called the androgyne Christ, the sort of the androgynous Christ. I think, now this was, I think, in the 19th century. I think today, Rosa would identify as non-binary or even trans. The Dine, sometimes we might know them as the Navajo. They have something, I'm going to try to get the word, Nadlihai, which is their word for people who are assigned male at birth, but have, in their estimation, mostly female characteristics. They have a word for it. They have a name. Like this is just this is who you are in the world, and it's not pejorative. St. Francis. A lot of the people in his community called him mother, and which could be a gender thing or it could be a queer thing. He, at a time where people sort of assumed God having a sort of a male role, St. Francis had a vision of God as a female trinity. St. Francis also accepted someone to his order who was a woman, but he called her brother Jacoba.
Yeah.
And so just all these gender bending things throughout our history. St. Pauline Murray. Now she's sort of a new saint. She's a saint in the Episcopal Church because she was an Episcopal priest and identified as a lesbian at the time, but also had a very complicated relationship to gender. And today would probably be, in fact, those who curate their stuff, their papers and whatnot, say that almost certainly Polly would be call themselves non-binary or even trans today. There was a Quaker, universal public friend, Jemima Wilkinson, who thought of themselves as being sort of non-gendered, as being neither male nor female. Today we would say non-binary, or some other way of it. Saint Marinos, or sometimes called Marina the monk, but Marina decided, raised as a girl, but just decided that really they were a boy, and the minute they could took on the male version of their name, joined a monastery, as a dad adopted a child and raised him as his dad. And this is a person who is in our canon of saints. So yeah, over and over and over, these things are not new. There is a lot of gender expansion and fluidity amongst the saints, and so I love that we lift that up, because while people are trying to be mean to the transgender people, you may actually honor and admire trans people you just didn't know.
And I have such greater appreciation for that, because you hit it right on the head. People in the trans community today are being brutalized, often by the Christian church.
Most.
And yeah, exactly. And look at the history. Look at how many people we emulate, or should emulate, that could really set an example for us to follow with regard to how we treat people who are gender expansive, transgender, non-binary. It's in our history. Let's learn a lesson.
Yeah. Saint Wigglesfortis, she didn't want to marry someone, and so she prayed for God to somehow save her from getting married, and she woke up with a full beard the next day.
Oh wow, I don't know that I'd want that, honey.
and yes, and so there's she's no longer an official saint, but she used to be, and regionally is still venerated as a saint. There are chapels and in France and whatnot. So yeah, there were lots of stories. Some of them probably legendary. Some of them maybe true, But in any case, if you think that virgins can have babies, if you think that dead people can be resurrected, if you think that a God can be three but still just one, if you could, you think a lot of things that are difficult to swallow. So you shouldn't really have that much trouble, Christians. You shouldn't have that much trouble with either same gender love or with gender variance or gender nonconformity, because you believe a lot of weird stuff anyway. So you shouldn't really struggle that much with stuff that actually has scientific data to explain and verify. So yay for trans people. And that umbrella is huge. A lot of people, like I have always been under that umbrella and was in my 50s before I knew it. Because I knew that I would cringe when people would call me man. To this day, cringe at the word man. A partner of mine when I was in my 20s, early 30s, had a similar issue, and so we called ourselves boys. Like that was like kind of old to be boys, but that's what we can take. We don't like what men are, and we don't feel like that's what we are. We don't want to be women, but if that's a man, that's not us either. And so we settled on boys. And then of course, in childhood, Nellie and Sissy, and someone who's a boy but acts a lot like girls. So so I was Sissy, and then I was Nellie, and then I was boy. I was living in this town, serving in this ministry before I realized there's such a thing as non-binary, and it's under this huge umbrella. So a lot of people who are mean about trans might have a lot in common with them and just don't have the education to know what to do with it yet. That's what we're here for. And that's today with the Queer God Squad. Before we go, we want to invite you to consider a wonderful travel experience. Join Divine Science Everywhere's charting a new course, Cruise for 5-day cruise aboard MSC Seashore, starting at just $299. Departing on November the 2nd, 2025, this all-inclusive getaway features free bus transfers from Ocala, the Villages, and Leesburg, plus free Wi-Fi throughout your journey. Enjoy open bar access for only $99, both on board and at Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. You'll explore Nassau and Paradise Island, the Bahamas, and relax on MSC's exclusive island, Ocean Cay Marine Reserve. Special perks from the Happening Out Travel Club include private happy hours and exclusive dining events. You can book your spot with a $199 deposit. If you haven't heard of Divine Science, you have heard of what it's about. If you like Oprah and Chopra, Louise Hay and Michael Beckwith, spirituality that is based on love rather than dogma, or you are familiar with Silent Unity and the Daily Word, then you already have a pretty good understanding of Divine Science, a New Thought school of thought that has been around since 1888. This nonprofit 501c3 trip is provided at reduced prices because of the charity fundraising educational mission of the Travel Club. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, connection, and spiritual renewal.
Get ready for an incredible journey on the Ultra Deluxe MSC Seashore. This 170,000-ton, $1 billion ship offers 5-day cruises from just $299. With free transfers from Ocala, the Villages, and Leesburg, getting to Port Canaveral is easy and convenient for you. There is more. You can upgrade the experience with our $99 open bar package and enjoy unlimited drinks, cocktails, coffee, and more for not one, not two, but every day of your cruise. Your special Travel Club package also includes free Wi-Fi. This MSC Seashore cruise will take you to Nassau and Paradise Island. You also enjoy the pristine beauty of Ocean Cay Marine Reserve, the world's top-rated private island experience. It's a slice of paradise waiting for you. Plus, your open bar access extends to the exclusive Ocean Cay Island too. So, if you dream of sipping on drinks and unwinding on stunning beaches, this is the day for you. When you purchase the $99 bar package, you also receive complimentary Wi-Fi for all 5 days, so that you can share every unforgettable moment with ease with the world. You'll also enjoy exclusive onboard events with fellow travelers, from private happy hours to special dinners. It's all included just for you. Last but not least is the ease of booking this trip. You can secure your spot with just $199 deposit and then pay just $49 a month. Why wait? Book your cruise today for the adventure of a lifetime. Call today to book your dream journey on the MSC Seashore Cruise.
I invite you to like and share this episode on your social media, and I also welcome you to find Sunshine Cathedral on Facebook or Instagram and to visit sunshinecathedral.org. There you will find worship services, newsletters, ways to donate or request prayer, and you can watch some special videos featuring our bishops and amazing guests from around the world.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that we are all in this together. Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.